Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you for watching my iPhone 8 cracked screen repair replacement video. For those of you guys that are watching me for the very first time, my name is Richard. I own San Diego Cell Phone Repair. You can look up my business on Google. You can go on Yelp. You can go on social. You could even look up the website sandiegocellphonerepair.com. So what this channel is about, it's about teaching you guys how to repair cell phones so you guys can make money doing this on your own. I believe that you guys are here for a reason. You have probably stumbled upon this video because your phone is broken. I think you have done the first step. The first step is to learn. So why not learn and why not earn? Make money doing this yourself. I started this business really broke. I really had no money starting this business. And repairing phones is one of those businesses that you can start with very little money. You can really start with a few $100s. I really didn't even have a few $100s. I had 2 iPhones and I sold them on Craigslist, and that's how I started this whole thing. You don't need a store to start this. I didn't have a store, and everybody that I've talked to that's in San Diego that has started repairing phones came pretty much from the same position that I was in. None of us had stores. We were all fixing phones, either driving to people's houses or offices or in a coffee shop. I started in a coffee shop. I worked my way up to making $9,000 in profit per month in a coffee shop before I even got this store. If you want to hear about all of the other stuff on how to make money doing this, just watch the other videos on my channel or comment down below any questions that you have. So let's just get right into this. How to repair the iPhone 8. Let's get to it. All right, so here we got the iPhone 8. And yes, today is March 21st. Okay, so what we're gonna need is these tools right here. And what you see right here is all linked underneath the description of this video. So this phone, you're gonna need 3 screwdrivers. A pentalobe screwdriver, a tri-tip screwdriver, and a regular cell phone screwdriver. This plastic anti-static spudger. I may need tweezers, I may not. It all just depends on the phone. And then this right here. All right, so let's get this started. Let's get all this out of the way. All right, so what we're gonna do is, of course, first turn off the phone. We're gonna take the 2 screws out of the bottom of the phone with our pentalobe screwdriver. So 1 and 2. And then I'm gonna grab a heat gun. If you're at home and if you don't have this, I'm sure a hairdryer will work. So what the whole idea here is to blow heat around the edges so it makes the screen easier to come out. So I'm gonna use this. So I'm gonna blow heat around the edges. And the reason why I use heat is because it has really thick adhesive for the water resistance. So you get this tool, and then since it's really thin, you get it in between the screen and the frame, just like this. And then you see, here's my entry point. I grab something like this, which is just a gift card, and then I use the entry point, and then I go down the sides like that. See that? just like that. And then blow a little bit of heat up here on the top. And then this thing will jiggle right out. It's gonna open up. A lot of the older phones, iPhones, they open up this way, but this opens to the side. So just watch out. Let me get this thing still like that. Just like that. And as you guys can see, this, see, that's the waterproof or the water resistance or waterproofing, whatever it is. That's around the edges right here. This looks almost identical to the iPhone 7. The only thing that you can really tell pretty much, even me that I've done so many of these, is the iPhone 8 has these little metal tabs. The iPhone 7 doesn't have these there at all. You cannot use an iPhone 7 screen with an iPhone 8. You plug the iPhone 7 in here, you'll mess up, you'll ruin your phone. Don't even try it. Okay, so now we're just gonna take a bunch of screws out, pretty much, but just pay attention to the way that I'm taking them out. And remember here, the 2 bottom screws, right? So what we're gonna do is just take off the shield here, and you're gonna kind of go back and forth to the different screwdrivers. This one we're not gonna need anymore, which is this for these screws, and that's it. So we're gonna go back and forth with 2 different screwdrivers pretty much the entire time. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking out the 4 screws that hold down the battery and the screen connections. And as you see, pay attention to the way that I'm laying them out. I'm laying them down the way that they look with the shield. So if you guys can see that, because these screws are different sizes. You can see here, there is a little baby screw, and then there's a bigger screw, and a little baby screw, and then a bigger screw. But you can see where they all go in. So just pay attention, because I'm organizing them so you don't get them all mixed up. And then what we do first is unplug the battery, and then the screen connections, just like that. A little tip for you, if you guys are doing this for your very first time, do not do this. Do not grab a flathead screwdriver if you don't have something to disconnect it. A lot of people, what they do is they grab a flat tip screwdriver like this, and what they do is they'll unhook with the screwdriver, and what you'll see is these little tiny microchips right here. They'll end up scraping them off like that. And then what happens? Something in the phone stops working, and then you end up taking it into a shop like mine after you try to do it at home, and then they come in and say, can you fix this? Or why does my screen not work? Or the backlight doesn't work anymore. That was one too. And I'm like, you just ruin your phone. There is actually one guy in San Diego that does know how to fix that stuff. But, okay, so we're going to go up here and take this shield out. And going back to our regular screwdriver. There's one up here at the top. There's one up here on the left. And there you go, I found it. There's one there. And I noticed that there is one screw missing from this shield. And it was on the bottom right. But just pretend that there's a screw that goes there. It's gone. It's not in this phone, okay? So unhook with the connection with this. And then we're just going to set this aside here. We don't need to touch this. Just leave it aside. You don't need this anymore. So as you can see, these are organized. We're going to keep doing that. So we're going to grab my screwdriver, and we're going to take this out right here. There is 2 screws at the top and 3 at the bottom. So top left screw. This screwdriver seems to be not magnetized, or it's losing its, I don't know how to say the word, magnetism, maybe? Okay, so there we go. That works better. That's the key to this whole thing, is you need a magnetic screwdriver. Okay, you see how I'm laying them out? And then this one. You're gonna do this right here. And then the bottom right. And as you see how I am laying them out, right? You see how they look like? This shield is gonna go just like this with those screws. You're gonna take out the ear speaker just like this. You can set it right there. You're gonna go straight down here to this shield which holds in the home button. All in a row. So we're gonna lay these, we'll just lay them over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sounds like a workout video, huh? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, huh? Okay, so here's the home button. So be very careful with this part. I'm gonna grab my plastic spudger stick and disconnect it like that. And this is how I take this out. I blow heat on this side. Right here, right in the corner, on this side. I don't blow heat here, I blow it on this side. The reason why I blow heat on this side is because this cable is stuck to the screen with adhesive. So what I do is I get underneath, just like this. You see how I'm sliding it under? Just like that. Slide it right under and just lift a little bit, and then the home button goes through the little hole like that. Just like that. We'll set this right there. Okay. So, next thing I do is I'm going to take the selfie camera with the wire that's attached to it. Blow heat. Once again on this side. And this thing will peel out. So that feels a little tough. So I'm going to blow more heat again. So you don't want to just force things and yank things off. It should come out easier. There we go. It's peeling right off. Just like that. Comes right off. Selfie camera, proximity sensor. So we'll lay that right there. Okay. What you're going to also do, you see these little plastic things right here? You're going to need to pluck those off, again, with heat blowing on this side. So these things will come out. This and this little plastic thing. Because what you're going to do, I'll show you right now. Okay, so these are both iPhone 8 screens. And you see the little metal tabs on the top? So this is the one that I was working on right now. And so this is a new one. So as you see, there's no plastic little holding things that hold in the front selfie camera right here and the proximity sensor. So you're going to want to take these out and transfer them onto the new screen. Okay, so we're just going to pretend that we took these out. So the final screws that are left are the ones on the sides, which there is 3 here. And look how I'm gonna lay them down all in a row. Like that. Here we go. Flip this around. Just lay them all in a row, just like that. So we're pretty much almost to the halfway point. And then we're gonna take this metal shield out that's right here. And this is gonna get transferred on to the new screen. And usually this thing is stuck here. As you can see, it's stuck because there's wires that are stuck on the back of this metal plate. You blow heat, and then this thing should come off a lot easier. So you guys see that? You see this adhesive that's there sticking the wires down? See that? Look. See? Okay. So we're gonna grab the new screen. It's the same screen, but we're pretty much already at the halfway point. So as you see how everything looks, everything here is organized. You can see this set of screws goes with this shield. This is the home button with the shield and the screws, the battery connection, and then top shield up here. And then these little 6 screws go with this. I organize them this way so you cannot get any of the screws mixed up. Because also what a lot of people at home, they just take out a bunch of screws and then they mix them all up and then they're lost. And they end up taking like 2 hours to do this, when this repair actually only takes 10 to 12 minutes to do from start to finish. Okay, so one thing that I do recommend is that the missing screw that was there. I noticed this right now. Okay, that looks like it. So there's your 3rd screw. It was in the phone. It was here somewhere, but it flopped out. Okay, so anyways, what I recommend before putting all the screws back onto the screen and plugging it in, you're gonna wanna get your new screen and you're gonna wanna test it out. So you can test your screen out while it's connected in here, like this. You'll connect it with the home button connected, so you can test that the home button's working with this screen. And you can plug this in here just like that. You can plug that in. That's what makes the screen work. Plug in the home button. Don't forget about plugging this home button in. If you don't plug in the home button, a little thing right here will come up. It'll probably say Touch ID not working, or Touch ID cannot be activated, something like that. The reason why is because this thing isn't even plugged in. Okay, so what we do from here is just we do everything in reverse. So I'm going to start with this shield. And what we're going to do is line up the little screw holes, as you see right here. See this like on the side right here? Okay, there we go. So we're just going to put all these screws back. It was 1. 2. 3. 4. 5, and we're going to do right here is going to be our last one, 6. So if I wasn't recording this, I would just be zipping through this whole process. Okay, so home button, it's going to go in this way, here, and then going to, just like this, this goes here, and then this connects in right in there. You can feel it, see? And then we're going to stick this just like this. Goes this way, just like this. Line up the little screw holes, and then here we go. 4 screws. Go 1. 2. 3. 4. Okay, little tip. What you're gonna want to do here is you're gonna want to feel the home button. And I know right now, when I'm feeling this, it feels like it's off. It feels like it's too much out. So I want this home button to kind of sink in a little bit. So I am probably going to loosen this one out a little bit. I felt it sunk back in somewhat. But sometimes you screw the screws too tight. There we go. I like how that feels. Feels normal. You can push in with your nail like that. You'll feel it sink back in. There you go. Okay. So, next thing I'm going to do is do this. Let me turn the heater off. It's getting hot in here. Okay, so we're now going to plug in the front little selfie camera. You see these 2 little holes that are here and here? You're going to see the 2 little things right there. The 2 little tabs. Boom, boom. That's where those 2 little holes go. It makes things easier. And you'll have these plastic things here. So you'll go just like that. They fit in, so you can see, or I'll do it again. See the little sensors right there? They fit in there just like this. You can feel if it's in there or not. You can just feel it with your fingertips. Everything's lining up. You grab your ear speaker. See the little golden little tabs right there? Little 4 little circles. And then you see here on the, that's where they touch. They touch each other. That's how they work. Oh my God. All right. Go like this. Now this selfie camera is going to wrap over the top, and then it's going to be held in place with this thing. You guys heard it go in. line up the little holes, and then the little shield goes on and holds it down so everything stays in place, and then put the screws back. So we got top right, top left, bottom right, you see how easily it probably looks, I probably make everything look easy because I do this, I've done this so many times, thousands of times. I use like my fingers and my thumbs to help get everything like straight. You see how like I use my thumb right here? That helps me guide it to wherever I need it to go. You see like that? That's something that you're gonna pick up on when you start doing these and you get comfortable doing these things. So that's pretty much that. All the screws are back into the screen. So all we have to do is just grab the screen and plug this back in. So this is a little bit tricky. So the way that, when I first started doing like the iPhone 7, I used to kind of take a little while until I started learning the trick of not plugging this in first. What I do is I plug the top in first. So what I do is I just grab this thing like this, and then I just plug it in. Just like that. You can see this cable looks, there's like it like kind of curves like this. Well, you see? But then once the screen's in the phone, it lays naturally. Okay, so then we're gonna grab just like this, line up the holes with the shield, and then put the screws back. I believe it's this screwdriver. Let me see this. Yep, got the right screwdriver. All right, so all we have left is connect the screen part of it in. That's connected. That's connected. And then the battery, which I didn't feel the battery plug in. Still not plugged in. You can feel all this. What the hell? Why is the battery not plugging in? There we go. Now it's plugged in. Final 4 screws or 6 screws. Goes like this. As you guys can see, as we're almost finished with this, this doesn't really look hard. Basically what you're doing is you're just unscrewing a bunch of screws and then screwing a bunch of screws back in on the way back. And that's pretty much how it is with all iPhones. All of them. Anywhere from the iPhone 5 all the way to the new iPhone XS Max. You're just taking out screws, getting a new screen, putting some screws back, and voila, that's it. Okay, so Here, this is the way you put the screen in. Go from the top, and you kind of pinch this right here. Pinch this, and you pinch. You just kind of go back and forth to the side, and it all goes in. And then the last two screws on the bottom. Wrong screwdriver. I need the pentalobe screwdriver. One, two. As it's starting to get later in the day, I always hear people, if I'm ever in here at this time, there's always people drinking. Well, Hooters is next door, right? Hooters restaurant. So people end up just going outside and talking outside the front door. Or they're taking an air break or a cigarette break. But okay, so that's it. As you see, it's everything. It's all finished. All right, so I'm back, and just like how I showed you guys, the iPhone 8 is really not that hard to fix. To me, all iPhones are easy to fix. If you're gonna start repairing phones for money, I recommend starting with the iPhones. They're simple, they're easy to fix, you make good profit, why not? Okay, so if anybody else has any questions or any questions that you guys have, write them below down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.